to have a look. The Twitter algorithm is like a bit farm. Hey everyone, my name is Venelin, and in this video we're going to have a quick start with LangChain in Python. We're going to build a simple model, then we are going to expand this into using external source, and in our case this is going to be the Twitter's tweet recommendation engine blog post. We're going to load it into embeddings using LangChain, and we're going to ask questions using ChatGPT and GPT-4 on our custom external data. And then we are going to have a look at how we can create prompt templates and chains, which are essentially the most important building block into the LangChain library. Let's get started. This is the official Python documentation of LangChain. And as you can see, I've highlighted two important things from this. So if you get anything about LangChain and what can it do, these are probably the most important things that you can think of. So the first thing is to be data aware, and what the authors of LangChain mean by this is to connect a language model to other sources of data. So essentially what this means is that LangChain allows you to use large language models with external sources of data, for example, PDF documents, text, web information, etc. And then be agentic, allow a language model to interact with its environment. And we've seen that in a previous video, I've shown you how you can use the CSV agent in order to write some pandas data frame prompts. So you can see the other thing here is that this is the Python version of the documentation, which is very well written, and you can go through that. And then they have a conceptual guide. And then this library have a JavaScript version, which is written in TypeScript, and it's pretty much paired to what the Python library has to offer. You can go through the Getting Started guide. It's very well written. They have a lot of examples and use cases. Also, you can visit the original or the GitHub repository of LangChain. And as you can see, it is very well received by the community, and it is very well maintained. The authors have actually pushed a new version an hour ago. So yeah, this is in very active development. Over here, they have a lot of documentations and examples as well. If you want access to the Jupyter or Google Colab notebook, it is freely available on GitHub. And this is available on my account, Get Things Done with Prompt Engineering. And for now, we have just this notebook, which I'm going to show you in this video. But in the later series of this video, I'm going to add essentially all of the notebooks that we are going to go through. I have a Google Colab notebook that is already running with these dependencies. From here, I've installed LangChain, then the OpenAI library, watermark, which is essentially going to print out what we are getting in this particular environment, ChromaDB, which is a vector database that we're going to use, and then tick token, which is a library that allows us to count the number of tokens that are going to be used by the OpenAI library. Let's run the watermark. It's already loaded. And after we do the imports, you can see the versions of the libraries that we're importing. Next, I'm going to create this simple print response function, which is essentially going to take some text and wrap it around. So our responses are going to be of smaller width. So the first thing within the environment here is that you need to put in your OpenAI key. Otherwise, the following cells are not going to be executed since you don't have API request access. And probably the easiest way to use the LangChain library is to create a model. And in this case, we're going to use Text DaVinci 003, which is the default model. And I'm going to send a temperature of 0, which will essentially reduce the randomness that we're getting from the model. And we're going to create an instance of this model. And you can see that you can essentially query this model by just putting it through a string. So in this example, I'm saying cured white cage fruit from the office, suggest 5 places to visit in Scranton that are connected to the TV show. And I'm going to just print the results of that. and if we execute this, this is going to make an API request to the OpenAI API, and then return the response. In this case, we are getting a list of the places that the model is suggesting. The Dunder Mifflin Paper Company, visit the office building, okay, pour Richard's pub, enjoy a drink at the bar, Steamtown National Historic Site, take a ride of the historic train that was featured in the show, the Scranton Cultural Center, and the Mall of Steamtown. Okay, so these are pretty much the 5 most important places according to Dwight Schrute from The Office. Okay, so great. As we saw in the documentation, one of the most important features of the LangChain library is to incorporate external data based on some, let's say, a PDF text file or a source that is a web page. So in this example, I'm going to use this blog post by Twitter, and on March 31st, they essentially open sourced the algorithm that they're using for their recommendation engine, and they wrote this blog post about it. And they have a very nice summary here. They have those diagrams, and they're talking about how do they do the feature extraction selection and how they source the candidates of the tweets, embeddings, etc. So it's very nice blog post, but if you don't want to read it all and you have some questions about it, can we use LangChain to understand it a bit better? So this is what we're going to do. First, I'm going to use this web base water, which is essentially going to get the source of this page. And if you go here and create, let's see, where is the view page source? And yeah, if you see through this, you can see a lot of HTML right here. And then you have some texts. And these are the parts of the text that the water is going to get for us. And it's going to get rid of the HTML. As you can see, we have a lot more HTML compared to the text that we have right here. So after the water is done, we can call the what method. And you can see that we are loading just a single document since we passed a single URL right here. And what does a document contain? It contains page content, which is essentially the text that we're going to get, and metadata. So in this example, we're going to print Twitter's recommendation algorithm and then engineering. So this should be some of the, Twitter's recommendation algorithm and then engineering from here. So these are parts of the text that has been scraped for us by the water. And then for the metadata, we have just an URL to the blog post that we've seen. Next, we are going to create an index using the vector store index creator. So what this does for us is essentially get the data, pass it into a text chunker in order to create tokens from it. So you are going to pass the data or the text through a tokenizer. Then it is going to use the OpenAI embeddings in this case. And finally, after the embeddings are done, we are going to store those embeddings in memory currently. And all of this is done using the vector store index creator. And by passing just the water, it does all of the job for us. And you can see that it is using by default this ChromaDB, which we've discussed that is going to be, or it is an open source vector store database. So you can see that it is using DuckDB without persistence. So the data or the embeddings are going to be stored just in memory. You can also store the embeddings within your hard drive or maybe sync it on some cloud storage, etc. if you don't want to retry this. And after that, we are going to query our index. It is that simple. You can see that you can call the query method on the index itself. And I'm going to pass in your Dwight Schrute from The Office, explain the Twitter's recommendation algorithms in 5 sentences using analogies from The Office. And keep in mind that actually this is a very new source of news or information, and ChatGPT and GPT-4 are not aware of this blog post, at least according to the authors. And you can see that it is giving us the Twitter recommendation algorithm is like Dwight's job at Detner Miphone. It looks at the people you follow and the people they follow to figure out what content you might find interesting. It's like Dwight's network of contacts, but instead of people, it's tweets. Wow. So it is using some analogies and then it is working through the index that we are giving it from this. The algorithm also looks at the tweets you've interacted with in the past, like what's past successes at Dunder Miphone. It then uses a logistic regression model to rank the tweets and to decide which to show you. Finally, it uses embedding space approaches to find tweets and users that are similar to your interests, like Dwight's ability to find the perfect job for each of his coworkers. Very interesting. So if you, let's say we get this keyword logistic regression, let's see if we are talking about logistic regression here. And you can see that actually within the blog post, they're discussing this logistic regression ranking model. So it looks like that it gets all of the information from the text, and then it allows us to ask questions and work with this custom data, which is pretty amazing. And keep in mind that this is just Text DaVinci 003, so it's not ChatGPT and it's not GPT-4. I'm going to show you how you can use those in the next part. You can probably guess that using those types of prompts by just specifying some f strings in Python can be pretty frustrating at times. And you can use something called prompt templates from the LangChain library. So how this works is you can create a variable with an f string again, but you can essentially pass in these placeholders with those curly braces, and you can pass in a context. So the context is going to be the data or the embeddings that we are going to get from the embedding engine. And then the question is going to be a variable that we are going to input on the prompt template. So in this example, I'm giving your Dwight Cage route from the office, then the context, which is going to be our custom data, then answer with analogies from the office to the question and the way Dwight speaks. And then I'm giving it a prompt with a question, and then I'm expecting an answer. So I'm going to create this prompt template, pass in the template and what are the input variables. And in our case, I'm going to create some context, which is going to be made up. Paper sales are declining 10% year over year. How to sell paper is the question. And when we format this prompt, essentially you're getting a replacement within the placeholders. Pretty simple, but actually very useful. Okay, so next we are going to use the raw embeddings, and we are going to replace what the vector store index did for us. So we're going to untangle what is happening underneath. And first thing we are going to do, we're going to get these embeddings, and these are OpenAI embeddings. This is straight from the API that OpenAI is providing. And then we're going to use the Chroma instance, and we are going to get the documents. So these are going to be essentially the loaded documents from the Twitter blog post. And then we're going to get the embeddings and create the embeddings over the documents. So if we run this, we're getting pretty much the same thing. We are not storing anything here, just putting everything into memory. And then I'm going to use all of the components that we've created thus far, along with the prompt. And then we are going to put everything within a chain. So the chain is going to allow us to do all of the components in one place, and then it's going to allow us to ask questions in this case. Of course, you can have multiple chains that do a lot of tasks in one chain, but this is a bit more advanced topic, and for now we're going to use this pre-made retrieval Q&A chain, which is very simple. It requires a large language model, and in this case I'm going to use ChatGPT right here. I'm going to initialize it with Chat OpenAI with temperature 0 again. Then we're going to essentially stuff everything within the chain with the embeddings. Then I'm going to pass in the retriever, which is going to be essentially the data or the context that we're going to get from the database. And we're calling database as a retriever. You can ignore this for now. And then we are giving keyword arguments for the chain. And here I'm passing in the prompt, which is going to be again this prompt template that we've created over here. So if you run through this, we can now query the chain, explain the Twitter recommendation algorithm in 5 sentences, and this is the response that we're going to get. So this is now running the embeddings with ChatGPT, so GPT 3.5 Turbo, and then it is running through this query. It takes a bit more time since the ChatGPT API is much more, let's say, busy, because it's cheaper probably. And if we look through the response, this is the response, but I'm going to use the wrapping function to have a look. The Twitter algorithm is like a beat farm, so it starts completely different compared to what Text DaVinci 003 is giving us. It starts with a foundation of core models and features that extract information from tweets, users, and engagement data. Then it goes through 3 stages: candidate sourcing, ranking, and applying heuristics and filters. So the in-network source is like a well-tended beat field, delivering the most relevant tweets from users you follow. The out-network sources are like wild beats, trickier to find but still valuable. Okay, I like the analogy here. And finally, the algorithm blends together tweets with other non-tweet content like ads, follow recommendations, and onboarding prompts, like mixing beets with other vegetables to create a delicious salad. So this is essentially the mix of the blog post for Twitter tweet recommendations and how Dwight would explain this with analogies from the Office show. In this video, we've seen how you can get started pretty quickly with the LangChain library. We saw how we can create a very simple model and queried it. Essentially, this took just a line of code to ask a prompt to Text DaVinci 003. Then we created an index creator with the blog post from Twitter that contains recommendations about tweets. And finally, we've used a prompt template with ChatGPT in order to create a chain that allowed us to use every component, pretty much every component of the LangChain library or the core component of the library in order to ask questions about our custom data. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. Join the Discord community that I'm going to leave within the description down below. And the source code with the Google Colab notebook is going to be available on GitHub. This will also be in the description below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.